She's my daughter. She would never lie to me. Those 8 words became the knife that slowly carved out my place in my own home. My husband, David, said them so often they turned into a wall I could never climb. And behind that wall stood Madison, 23, beautiful, and so very good at playing the victim. I'm Elena, 41, a pediatric nurse with steady hands and a soft voice, the kind of woman people trust with their children. I'd spent 15 years learning how to read pain that couldn't speak, but I never imagined I'd need those skills in my own marriage. David and I met 3 years after his first wife passed, breast cancer. Madison was 17 then, grieving, angry, and I understood that. I didn't try to replace her mother. I gave her space. I showed up quietly, her favorite tea on hard mornings, a listening ear when she wanted it, silence when she didn't. For the first year, we existed in careful peace. David was kind, steady, a high school history teacher who believed in second chances and the goodness in people. He wore his heart openly, loved fiercely, and trusted without question. It's what made me fall for him. It's also what made him blind. The cracks started small. A necklace, my grandmother's sapphire pendant, went missing. I'd left it on my dresser. When I asked Madison if she'd seen it, she looked at me with wide, wounded eyes. Why would you accuse me? I hadn't. I'd only asked. But when David came home, the story had shapeshifted. She told him I'd cornered her and basically called her a thief. David's face hardened in a way I'd never seen. She's still healing, Alina. You need to be more sensitive. I tried to explain, but his hand was already on Madison's shoulder, his voice soft with her, edged with ice toward me. The necklace never reappeared, and I learned my first lesson. In this house, her word was gospel. The pattern repeated, quietly at first, then louder. Money disappeared from my purse, $60 I'd withdrawn for groceries. When I mentioned it, Madison's eyes brimmed with tears at dinner. I can't believe she thinks I'd steal. Dad, I feel so unsafe here. David didn't even ask me for my side. He suggested I'd miscounted, that work stress was making me paranoid. He handed Madison an extra 100 for her trouble. I watched her fold it into her wallet, and just for a flash, less than a heartbeat, she glanced at me. The tears were gone. Her mouth curved barely. A smirk so faint, I almost thought I'd imagined it, but I hadn't. I started keeping records. Small things, dates, amounts, incidents. I wasn't sure why yet, just a nurse's instinct to document. Then came the night that changed everything. I'd worked a double shift, 12 hours of sick children and worried parents, and I came home to find Madison sprawled on our couch, her friends scattered around, liquor bottles on my coffee table. She was 23, but still lived with us to save money for grad school applications that never seemed to get submitted. Madison, we talked about parties when we're not home. She rolled her eyes. Her friends snickered. One of them, a girl with bleached hair and bored eyes, whispered something. They laughed. Relax, Elena. It's just a few drinks. Stop being so controlling. I wasn't controlling. I was exhausted. I asked them to keep it down. David was asleep upstairs after his own long day. I went to bed. 2 hours later, David shook me awake. His face was pale, his jaw tight. Did you scream at Madison in front of her friends? I sat up, groggy. What? No, I asked them to. She's downstairs crying. She says you humiliated her, called her a freeloader, told her friends she was a disappointment. The room tilted. David, I never. Why would she lie? There it was again. That question that wasn't really a question. It was a verdict. I followed him downstairs. Madison sat curled on the couch, face blotchy, tissues in hand. Her friends were gone. The bottles were gone. She looked small and broken. She was so good. I stopped defending myself. What was the point? Every word I said became evidence of my cruelty in David's eyes. I moved through my own home like a ghost, careful and quiet, trying not to give her ammunition. But Madison didn't need me to do anything. She simply invented it. A scratch appeared on her car. She said I'd keyed it out of jealousy. I'd been at work. My badge logs proved it. David dismissed the logs. Those can be wrong. A group text went out to David's family from my phone, calling his sister a string of vile names. I hadn't sent it. My phone had been in my locker during my shift. But Madison had been at the house, alone. She'd known my passcode. I'd never hidden it because I trusted the people in my home. David's sister blocked me. His mother called me disturbed. David looked at me like I was a stranger. I don't even know who you are anymore. I felt myself disappearing. That's when my colleague Iris noticed. She found me crying in the break room and I finally broke. I told her everything. The lies, the stealing, the way David couldn't see it. I expected sympathy. Instead, she leaned forward, eyes sharp. Elena, that's not gaslighting. That's DARVO, deny, attack, reverse victim and offender. My sister went through this with her stepdaughter. It ended with a restraining order. She handed me a card, a family therapist who specialized in parental alienation and complex family dynamics. And document everything. I mean, everything. I already had been, but now I did it with intention. I installed a discreet camera in the living room, my own home, where I had every legal right. I started keeping my purse locked in my car. I changed all my passwords. And I waited. I didn't have to wait long. 3 days later, I came home early. A patient canceled. The house was supposed to be empty. But I heard voices. Madison's. And a man's. Not David. I opened the door quietly. She was in the kitchen, her back to me, phone on speaker. So easy. He believes anything I say, and she's too scared to fight back now. I just need a few more months, then I'll have enough saved to move to Copenhagen with you. He'll probably give me whatever I ask for, especially if I say she's the reason I have to leave. Laughter. Male. Smug. You're wicked, Mads. I learned from the best. My hands went cold. I didn't confront her. Not yet. I let her believe I hadn't heard. I went back to my car, sat in the driveway, and called the therapist Iris recommended. That afternoon, I had an emergency session. By the end of the week, I had a plan. The camera had caught Madison pocketing cash from David's wallet. It caught her deleting messages from my phone. It caught her practicing tears in the mirror before telling David another lie about me. I compiled everything. Videos, my logs, bank statements showing missing money, screenshots of her social media, including posts with a boyfriend in Denmark she'd never mentioned to David, and captions about playing the long game. I didn't want to humiliate her. I wanted my life back. I asked David for one conversation, a real one, with a mediator, the therapist. At first he refused, but I told him if he didn't come, I was leaving. Not as a threat, as a fact. I was calm. I was done. He came. We sat in that small, neutral office. The therapist asked Madison to join us. She came, confident. She thought this was another stage for her performance. I played the videos. I watched David's face crumble. Denial, confusion, then horror. Madison tried to laugh it off, then got angry, then cried. Real tears this time, but of rage, not sorrow. You spied on me? I protected myself in my own home. The therapist guided us through 2 more sessions. David was shattered. Madison moved out within a week, funded by her boyfriend, not her father. David begged me to stay, to forgive him. Forgiveness took time. We're still in therapy. He's learning that love without discernment is not protection. It's enabling. I'm learning that speaking truth, even when it costs you, is the only way to live freely. Madison and I don't speak. Maybe one day, maybe not. But I don't carry her lies anymore. Some people will believe the best story, not the true one. But the truth doesn't need an audience to be real. It just needs one person brave enough to stand in it. I'm Elena, and I'm still here. If this story stirred something in you, drop a comment. Which city are you listening from? Names and details altered for privacy. Story dramatized for awareness.